Hi guys, it's me, Andrew. So initially I planned to make a vlog for June documenting some of my fun days throughout the month of June. However, because a lot of my days were spent studying and the fun days were very rare and infrequent, my vlog ended up being very incohesive. So I just scratched that idea and wanted to do like a sit-down video. I was kind of inspired by another YouTuber that I really like, and she does monthly notes where she kind of reflects on the past month and shares what she has learned and some of the experiences that she has gone through and just talks about it. And I kind of wanted to do something like that because the reason why I make YouTube videos despite not having subscribers is for myself, really, because I really enjoy looking back at my old my videos and kind of remembering all the things that happened. I treat YouTube as my journal. Yeah, so that's why I wanted to do this reflection video. Before I get into some of the topics and topics of things I want to talk about, which I have written down here, I wanted to show you my bullet journal. So in my bullet journal, I have something called a mood tracker. Although it tracks more than just my mood, I always track all of my habits. I track my energy, stress level, and my mood. So I will put up my tracker for the month of June here somewhere. Here somewhere, yeah. So I don't know if you can see because the picture is pretty bad. Brown represents my energy level. So 1 would be I'm very tired, and 10 would be I'm super energetic, getting a lot of sleep, getting a lot of rest, etc. And gray is my stress level, 10 being extremely stressed, and 1 being not stressed at all. Green is my mood. So 10 would be I'm in a very good mood. I'm at a very good, I was very happy for the day. Great things happened. Or even if bad things happened, I made it good, or I made it positive. And 1 being I was in a crappy mood. So that's kind of my mood, stress, energy tracker. I need a better name for it. It's getting redundant, but that's my tracker. I decided to crop out my habit tracker because that's personal. But this is my mood tracker, and if you see drastic changes, I usually have a journal entry that goes along with it. So for example, on the x-axis, it's the date. So from the 1st to 30th of June, if you look between 11th and 12th, there's a huge drop in my mood, and 27, 28, there's a huge up, an increase. Usually those days I have a journal entry that goes along with it, just explain what happened. And let me actually find it. Yes, I do. I do have a journal entry for June 12th and June 16th. And unfortunately, they are both, they both are linked with a drastic decrease in my mood. So I think 12th is the day when I was really burnt out from studying for my DAT, and the 16th is when I fought with my mom. And if you can see, my stress levels are pretty high, consistently high. And that's just because I've been stressed with studying, and yeah, I've just been stressed with my academic stuff. So that's my tracker for June, which is a good overview of what kind of happened. And also in my bullet journal, I always do a monthly reflection. So for my June reflection, the first thing I do is I describe the month in 1 word, and for June, it's actually 2 words, but I'm just gonna say 1, and I said motivation, because it was really hard for me to find motivation to study and continue. And I always write 3 highlights from that month, as well as 3 small victories. So for the highlights, I said seeing my mom and my sister every day because we were all living together, and a second highlight was getting COVID. And although that's not really a good highlight, I was still fortunate to get COVID like way before the day of my exam. If it had been like the week before my exam, that would have been quite troublesome. And for my third highlight, I said coming back to Waco from Dallas for some needed alone time. And I'll expand on this a little more later. And for the small victories, I said preparing for DAT every single day. I was proud of myself for working hard and consistent throughout the month. And number 2 is getting along with my mom and sis. My sister and I barely fought in like the almost a month I stayed there, and that's kind of an improvement from like before, because my sister and I were known for like fighting every single day, but we've gotten so much closer as we've gotten older, so that's another small victory. Number 3 is being patient and kind to myself, which I will also expand on later. And after highlights and small victories, I usually write like in like a small paragraph something that I like learned, but for some reason I forgot, so I'll be skipping that for June. And for the other half of the June reflection, I guess, I write goals and intention for July. So my intention for July is joy. Because the first week of July, I'll be done with my DAT, and I'll finally be able to enjoy my summer. I have not been able to enjoy my summer for the past 2 months, so I really want to be happy in July. And the 3 goals I have for July is getting a good score on the DAT, and I wrote I can do it, and applying to college apps as soon as possible. And number 3 is focusing on my happiness and well-being, which is very much needed. So that's the month of June in my bullet journal. And now I will be going over some of the things that I've experienced and learned in like separate topics. So let's get on with the first topic. So the first topic is DAT preparation, which I kind of alluded to earlier. DAT has been like the biggest thing the past 2 months, and it really tested my diligence and tenacity. I've had a pretty consistent schedule the past 2 months, where I wake up around 8:39, go to the library right away after a quick breakfast, and I study until lunch, which is like 1 or 2, and then after lunch I go back to the library, and then study for another few hours, like from like 3-4ish to 7, and at 7 I eat dinner, and after dinner I go straight to lab to do my lab work, because along with DAT preparation, I also had lab work to do. I'm starting to gather data for my honors thesis. So yeah, that was another big part of summer. And the most challenging thing throughout this entire process was finding motivation. That's why I wrote motivation as like the key word for the month of June. I got burnt out. I've been burnt out like multiple times, especially because of the fact that like everyone else was having like such a great summer break. Every time I go on Instagram, people are like in Cancun, they're in Paris, they're in like, I don't know, California, and having fun with their friends and family, and I was here by myself studying. So that was very jealous, and it was really hard for me to find motivation because of that. So I have a list of things that helped me to get out of my burnout state and kind of motivate me. The most important thing is to and which is like really obvious, to be honest, is to give yourself plenty of rest and break. Just like I've been designated specific times of my day for studying, I've also designated time where I have to rest. Like even if I don't feel deserving of a break time, because like let's say I did bad on a practice test, or I wasn't able to focus that much when I was studying, despite that I always designated a time for me to rest, and that was after my lab. So from like 10 to 12, and also during lunch and dinner time, I like forced myself not to look at anything related to my studies, which was very, very smart of me to do, to be honest. And another thing was to constantly like remind myself why I'm doing this and of the bright thing, like the bright future that will be ahead of me if I do well on it. Like if I do well on my DAT, I'll go to a good dental school, and then I'll be able to graduate and work at a nice clinic and earn 6-digit in my first year, you know? That should be motivating enough for you. And after getting experience, you could go out to third world countries and help out people who don't have access to dental care. Like that should be motivating enough for you. So, getting a call from my mom. Give me a second. What was I talking about? Okay, to elaborate on the breaks I've been, the designated break times I've been getting, when I say like giving yourself break time, that does not mean just looking at Instagram or YouTube for like 2-3 hours. Like that is not a break. That is actually more, it's like more damaging to your eyes. And like when you're studying, you like, I always look at a screen for like that many hours. So like I need to designate time where I'm not looking at a screen and where my eyes are not like being tired. So instead, I found myself reading a lot. I actually finished 2 books over summer, which is actually not that much, to be honest. I wish I could have read more. And another thing I did was I also went on a lot of walks. Yes, I went on a lot of walks listening to music, like just randomly. And then I would always bring my Kindle so that like if I found like a good, like if I find like a good spot, I would just sit and read there. So yeah, that's how I've been taking breaks. But I have to like admit, there were times when I would just binge watch YouTube videos because I couldn't stop. Like that happens, and sometimes that can be helpful, I guess, to like distract yourself completely if you're like really anxious or stressed. So yeah, so that's a little bit more on the breaks, the mindful breaks. So my exam is going to be in 2 days. Today's a Wednesday, and my exam is on Friday, so I don't have that much time left. But honestly, I do feel a lot more prepared than last week and the week before, obviously. That is it for my DAT preparation journey for the month of June. The second topic, yay, is my family and my relationship with them. So I have always been very close to my family. In the past, I've been a lot closer to my mom and my dad, but lately I've been like a lot closer to my sister than before, which is very good news. We're like besties now. Yeah. So something that happened throughout my stay in Dallas was how should I explain this? So my sister's apartment is a very small apartment. It's kind of like, it's a little bit bigger than my house, my efficiency room, or what is it called? A studio. It's a little bit bigger than a studio, but it has a bedroom, and it's not enough space for like 3 people to live in, and there is no space, like there's no place in the apartment unit where you could be by yourself. And so like living with my mom and my sister was like a huge reminder of how introverted I really am. Like not in the sense that like I'm quiet and I'm shy, because I don't know if you know, but I am very vocal. I am very loud. I'm very energetic and outgoing. A lot of people mistake me as an extroverted person, but I'm not an extrovert at all. because I can only recharge and get rest in like isolation. Like the dead silence of my room is what I need to recharge and energize myself. So constantly being with my mom, my sister, and was a lot more tiring, and it was a lot more taxing than I thought it would be. Even if I rest and like sleep, like I would not feel rested at all for some reason. And that sucks because like of course I wanted to spend time with my mom and my sister, and I didn't want them to get the wrong idea that I didn't want to be with them. It's not the people that I'm with, it's just that the fact that they are people is what, like, I don't know, that kind of like makes me tired. I don't know if you can relate. I'm pretty sure there are other introverted people that can relate. Like even if you love the people that you're with, it can be tiring to be with them 24/7 for like months. And my sister and my mom, they have the same MBTI, and although they're very quiet and a little reserved, they're extroverted because they need to be with people to gain energy. It's like the complete opposite of me. I'm a very loud introverted person, and my sister and my mom are very quiet extroverted people. So that's why they really just didn't understand. They're like every time I would express that I want to go back home and I want to go back to Waco, which is like an hour and a half drive, so it is a bit of a drive, but every time I would say that, they would be like, why do you want to go home? Do you not want to spend time with us? Like, have we done something wrong? Like, they would always question that, and I'm like, I always felt bad because that really isn't the case. She finally drove me back to Waco, which I was like so thankful for, and I felt really sorry for because she would have to be the one driving all that distance. After like dropping me off and like spending a day to myself, I like felt so energized. I was so happy, and I think that's when my mom finally understood why I've been kind of wanting to go home, because like I've been like because I'm so tired all the time there, and like my social battery is always like depleted. I always felt even more burnt out while I was studying. So like when I came here, I was so energized, I was so ready to study. I like woke up really early to go to study every day, and my mom was like kind of strict. She's like, huh, like maybe like he wasn't just making up excuses to like be by himself. Maybe that's just how his brain and body works. So like that was a kind of a moment of understanding between us. And on to the third topic, which is my last one. And technically it isn't a topic for like June, because the last thing I wanted to talk about was my plans for July and so on. So now that I'm gonna be done with exam the first week of July, the rest of July I have to focus on finishing up my application for dental school. My summer classes start next week. It is asynchronous and it's online, and I'll just have to do that, but it's not going to be as hard as DAT. It's going to be a pretty easy class, so it's just for credit. So that's also another thing that's going to be happening. And another thing that I'm going to focus on during June, the month of July I mean, is going to be spending a lot of time with my mom. She's going back to Dubai, where she lives, the first week of August, so I'm gonna have approximately 3 weeks to spend with her. That's kind of the 3 things that I will be doing and focusing on the month of July, and that's the last thing that I wanted to talk about today. So that kind of concludes my video. There wasn't a lot going on. It wasn't the most exciting month, but maybe in the future, if I do another reflection video like this, in this format, maybe it'll be a little bit more exciting. Okay, thank you for watching. If you ended up watching all the way here, which is probably none of you guys. It's probably just gonna be future Andrew that watches up to this point. But thank you, future Andrew, for watching all the way here. Bye!